looks like you caught me in the middle of a practice session, YouTube. And that brings up my subject, of course. Nice segue. I'm so good at these. I'm talking about practice today and how to make it more consistent and good for you. So that was a little Minuet 2 from Bach Cello Suite 1. I'm working on all of these for my recital, and I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, practice. So I have a few big points about practice. My first point, and it should be your first point as to practice also, is goals. So the whole point of practicing is to achieve a goal, and it doesn't have to be like I'm gonna win trombone or something stupid like that. It can be all sorts of things. I have 3 different kinds of goals. I've got short-term goals, medium-term goals, kind of a weird term, and long-term goals. And just a little thing about goals. Keep your goals realistic. And maybe I should bring this up later, but keep your goals realistic, but don't be afraid to expand your envelope. And, that's like I'm saying like 2 different things at the same time there, but, don't be like, I'm going to make principal and the NY Philharmonic in 6 months. Most people are probably not going to do that, mainly because, there's already someone who has the job. But, it's also really hard to get into. But also don't be like, I'm going to make 5th chair at all county in 5 years or something like that. Go a little farther than you think you maybe can and come up short rather than having really, not cool goals. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but challenge yourself. Don't just kind of stagnate. Okay, so short-term goals, number 1. And these are things that you're doing in the space of a practice session or maybe a week. Just really short-term things. They don't have to be really broad, overarching things. A couple examples I have are I'm going to get down a lick. Say I have a series of 8th notes in this that keep tripping me up. I'll just, take 2 measures and I'll just play them 100 times until I have it good. I can do that in the space of 1 practice session, maybe a couple, maybe 3, and then I'll have it down. I don't have to think, months in the future and be like, I'm going to have this lick down in 6 months or I'll be dead. I mean, there's some things that are really hard like that, but, short, easy things to do. Another one is getting something up to tempo. And it can be a shorter section or a whole piece. Just, working things up, improving by a click every day. Getting that up over a week or something like that. Nice short-term goals. And there's tons more examples. They could be mechanical things about your playing, even though those are usually a little more long-term. Etc. Just shorter-term goals you can do in 1 practice session, maybe up to a week, 2 weeks. And then I've got medium-term goals. These are kind of over the space of a month or 2 months. Something more foreseeable in the future, but not something you can do in a practice session, but also not something that's going to take years or lots of months. I have, for me, I'm having a recital in a couple months, and I have a preview in a few weeks. So my medium-term goals are to get my recital repertoire ready for my preview. So basically that just means getting everything up to performance, the bottom level of performance ready, so that they sound okay, I can play them, I'm not going to fumble or anything. It's maybe not be perfect, but medium-term goals. So that might be I'm going to practice my audition music for whatever. I'm going to get my trombone part for this orchestra piece ready by, a month from now. Medium-term goals. And then there's long-term goals, things that will take a long time or a long time in the future. So these are kind of more overarching things. I'll say I'm going to fix my intonation on the F valve below E natural, below the staff or something. Just totally making this up. I'm going to fix that over the course of the next few months, because you can work on that every day. It might be the only thing you work on every day, not that it should be. But you're probably not going to fix that in a week or 2 weeks or several weeks. It's something that probably will take you a while to learn how to do correctly, and will take a while to do correctly before it becomes habit. Um, I had a couple other things. Oh, like improving fast articulations. You're probably not going to be like, all right, my fast articulations are bad. Duh, 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 duh. I'm gonna make them better. Digga, 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 digga. You're not going to do that over the space of one practice session or even, like a dozen. That's going to take a long time of like consistent practice and really thinking about what you're doing. So basically what I'm saying is have a set of goals of short-term, medium-term, and long-term, and just always have those going. Because if you don't have goals, then you don't know what you're practicing, and then there's like no point. Like, why are you practicing? Are you just practicing to play trombone? I mean, hey, that's a goal too. So think about your goals, and if you don't have any, then really just think about them. I don't write these things down. I'm not that kind of person, so just think about in your head. Every once in a while, I'll just be like, I really need to work on intonation. I really need to work on this piece. I really need to work on better slide technique or something. Just think about those things and work them into your practice. So, goals. Next thing up is consistency. That is a huge deal for me, especially since I did drum corps. Basically the whole name of the game in drum corps is consistency. Doing the same thing the same way every time. And hopefully doing it the right way every time. That's the hard part, of course. But just consistency. There's lots of people that can probably play really well, but they can't do it every time. And those are the people that don't get jobs. Like, that's just how it is. You have to be able to do the same thing every time, every day, for the next 20 years. That's how it works. And you have to be able to, improve on that kind of stuff. So, my consistency, what I think of when I think of that is, I do the same thing every day. I start with my warm-up, and I hope I start with my warm-up, and I do it the same way with minor variations every day. Every single day. I do not ever leave this out. I have a few points about this. No matter what you do, no matter how bad you feel, I hate playing in the morning, but I played in youth orchestra a couple years ago that rehearsed at 8 in the morning after a 2-hour drive. So I had to get up at 5:30, drive for 2 hours, and then play really well in this orchestra. And so I hate that. I play so badly, but I would warm up and make sure I could play at my absolute best, even though I feel like crap. And that's just what a warm-up should do. And if it's not doing that for you, then maybe think about changing some things, because it really should make you play the best no matter what. That's what consistency is. And then, like I said, do it the same way with minor variations every day. There's lots of people that are like, I never play the same thing twice. And that's great, but that's not very consistent. I don't know, I don't have much to say about that, I guess. I play the same warm-up, and I've changed it a lot over the last couple of years, but I also do it the same way, in a week. I'll do it the same way, pretty much the same, minus a couple different things, and I'll change that very slowly over months, even years. So, do things the same way with minor variations. I'll change one exercise out of the whole warm-up a day, and just a little bit. You get the idea. And then my next point is every day. So just do it every day. Don't let yourself be like, I'm not going to warm up today. I'm just going to play. You can probably do that, but you'll probably just end up hurting yourself in the future. Sam Burtis, I talk about this guy a lot, but he talked about in the New York freelance scene, the people that are still working now after 30, 40 years of solid freelancing are the people who warm up and really take care of themselves every day. And the people that just go around and just play are the guys who get focal dystonia, that have serious chop problems, that have to give up down the road because they just don't have the chops anymore. It just kills them. So I've really taken that to heart, and I just warm up all the time. It's good. It's really good for you. And, maybe you don't have time and you have to rush somewhere and then you have to play. If that happens to me too, because I'm a human being like the rest of you guys, and if that does happen, then do your entire warm-up routine after you practice, after you rehearse, whatever it is. Just do it every day. It doesn't even matter. Just still do it. I'll play, I just played some rehearsal or something where it was with my quartet, where I didn't get to warm up, and I kind of played like crap through the whole rehearsal. It was like 3 hours, and I hated it. I went home and I was like, oh man, I'm such a bad player. And then I just sat down, I really focused, I used the metronome, and I did my whole warm-up, and I felt 100 times better. And I was playing 100 times better at the end of the warm-up than I was the entire rehearsal. Even trying to use like the best habits and whatnot the whole time, the warm-up still makes it better. So, do a warm-up. It's consistent, it's good for you. Obviously I have warm-up videos, and they're pretty good. I've already even changed my warm-ups since then, so they're semi-accurate. But if you really want to have a good warm-up, those are good starting points. And then, of course, after the warm-up, and this is talking about like a specific practice session every day, after the warm-up is totally up to you. I don't have something I do every day, so maybe this is inconsistent and I need to fix it, but I don't, like do my warm-up and then I do etudes and then I do rep or something. I warm up and then I work on kind of whatever I want to work on. I probably should work on that and do specific things, but it's really up to you and how you feel. I know people who just want to do rep, and all they want to do is play music, and they hate etudes, and they hate exercises and stuff, but I like playing the horn no matter what, so, it's up to you. Figure out what's going to work. Etudes, rep, exercises, there's tons of different things you can play, parts, whatever's going to work for you. And make sure you just time them out in the right manner, you're doing the right things at the right times. You get the idea. And if you get tired fast, and I used to be the same way, if I had tried to practice, I'd be like, alright, I'm going to play through all of Arbin's today, and I would get through like 3 things and just be totally chopped out. And I'm like, why is that happening? And I would just give up and stop practicing. Pretty much it just means you need to play more and practice more. There's no way around it. Because like when I started doing this warm-up that I've done in 2 videos now, I couldn't even make it through the whole warm-up and still have chops at the end. I would be like totally shot and have to wait like 20-40 minutes before I could play again. But after doing that for like 2 or 3 weeks, I had more chops, I felt better, I could do everything better, and now I could do that same warm-up like a dozen times and just it would not make any big deal at all. So the consistency, the playing, the warm-up, just practicing a lot will get you much better chops. And so I'll just sign off with that. If you guys have any more questions about practice, let me know and give me more suggestions for next time. Alright, see you, YouTube.